Hey, you guys, this is Tamiya Robles. I am a credit repair specialist, credit repair expert. I'm the owner of Fix My Credit Now, e50.com. I am the host of Coast to Coast podcast. Welcome, welcome. So, today, as you can see in the title, I'm actually going to show you guys how to create your own effective credit repair dispute letters. This is mostly for y'all that want to do it yourself, you're DIYers, or you want to consider doing it yourself, but you want to see how much work is actually put into creating letters. Now, I do have to make it abundantly clear. This is for those that are going to be factual disputers or you're already a factual disputer. I am a factual disputer. I take much pride in that. I've always been, I want to say, maybe my first couple months of being a credit repair specialist, to be completely honest with you, I wasn't a factual disputer. But once I learned what it was to be a factual disputer and I saw how many deletions I got so quickly, yeah, I became a factual disputer. So this is specifically for y'all that want to be a factual disputer. Nothing against disputing any other way, whatever works for you. Cool. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to create a dispute letter, and I'm going to go through the process step by step. I'm going to share the letter that I use myself. If you want, you can purchase my letter if you don't feel like creating your own. Mine is super effective. I use it for everything all the time, and I get a bunch of results. But if you want to create your own, this is how you do it. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we're going to go back and forth from this website to creating letters. And I'm doing this for a reason. So when you go onto this website is called consumercomplianceoutlook.org. I will leave the website in the description for y'all. This is basically a really great breakdown of the CARES Act, the FCRA, the ECOA. So as you can see, the title is called Furnisher's Obligation for Consumer Credit Information under the CARES Act, FCRA, and ECOA. And it's super, super informative. It's very detail specific. It brings up the sections under the FCRA. And if you ever want to check it out, I strongly encourage you to do so. But if you've ever watched any YouTube videos and people are talking about 609 letters or 611 letters, they're actually talking about these sections here. So the section 623, for example, these are sections under the FCRA. The 609 section, it's under the FCRA, but there's actually a ton of sections, and they all have their reasons, and they're there for a particular reason, specific situations that you would find helpful when you're creating dispute letters. And if you can see here, this is a prime example. Okay. So if you click on one of these, I'm just going to click on it just so you guys can see here. Okay. You're going to click on this 15 USC, and that's 1681 S-2A1FII. Okay, right? So when you click on it, it's going to show you what this section is under the law, right? And it breaks it down exactly what it is. So these are the responsibilities. So under 1681S2, responsibilities of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agencies. I'm not reading all this. As you can see, it's a lot. I'm just trying to explain to you. It breaks it down into detail. So there's no confusion on what a section is and what chapters what and what it's used for and blah blah blah. It says it right here. Responsibilities of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agencies, and it's breaking it down. Okay. But there's so many to go through. So if you want to go through each and every one, you can. I'm going to give you a heads up. As you can see, it was a lot of writing, it was a lot of legal jargon. It can be confusing for some who aren't used to reading in this type of mannerism. I'm used to reading like this because as a workers' comp adjuster, being a workers' comp adjuster for over 14 years and being on a higher level, I had to read a lot of contracts and uh, letters from attorneys and settlement agreements and so on and so forth. So I'm used to reading this type of stuff anyway. But if it's too much for you, one of the things you could do to make your life a little easier and just so you can still be in the know, I would look at a section that you're considering using, for example, or you want to know more about, like this one, section 623A. Just Google it, right? When you Google it, you're going to get the layman's version of what that section is. So I'll show you right now. So let me copy and paste this because obviously a section 623 and a 623A are two different things. You can get it broken down in layman's terms. So see, I Googled it. I just put it in, and then you can see, like, there's the FTC is going to explain it. Identitytheft.gov is going to explain it. Federal financial institution. I don't even know who these people are, but like you're going to see what the definition is, what it means. But some of them, like I stated, break it down in layman's terms for you, so it's an easy read, easier for you to understand. Now we're going to go into creating dispute letters. Okay. Now I'm specifically going to this portion of the website, and it's titled Duty to Provide CRAs with Accurate Information. Keyword accurate. Okay. Another keyword information, accurate information. So now I'm going to show you my actual dispute letter, and then we're going to create a dispute letter, or at least go over what I have for y'all, and then create it together. Okay, so this is my dispute letter. So when you have a dispute letter, I personally use Word. I know some people use Google. I'm not a Google girl, so I'm going to show you through Word. So you always want to have a date first and first, mostly. Now, a little trick that I use is I always backdate my dispute letters at least 2 to 3 weeks back. Just a little trick. You don't have to use it. Do what's best for you. As you know, I do not track my letters, so I don't have a tracking number. My letters are pretty basic, detail specific, and to the point. Okay. I try to reduce as much fluff as possible because I don't need anyone, any bureau, any organization, any entity to pick apart whatever it is that I'm trying to express. I need them to focus on the facts and the facts only. That's it. Okay. So be careful being too wordy. So here's the date. You want to backdate it. Always have your name or your customer's name, whoever you're doing this for, but first and last name, the address, and it has to be the full address. And I never abbreviate this part of the address. It was street, avenue, lane, circle, what is it, boulevard, whatever the situation may be, spell it out completely. Something I've just learned in the past. You should do that. You don't have to do it, but we're trying to talk about today effective letters and the most effective way. So just put it on there. Spell it out. If you don't know how to spell it out, Google it. Now you want to put the last four of a social. They don't need a full social, and the person's date of birth. You always want to put, like, any letter, who you're addressing this to. So again, this is just my format. If you want to alter it, I strongly encourage you to do what you feel is best for you. But this is who it's to. Now, this is just one address. Equifax has multiple addresses. And I just put this up here for just educational purposes. Okay. Now, to whom it may concern. And then you want to start giving direction. You want to start saying what your issues are before you go into anything heavy, right? So I am basically saying from the rip, boom, you have to correct my personal information. So when you read a credit report, like I've shown you guys in the past, especially with Smart Credit, it goes personal information on top, which is your name, address, date of birth, employer. All of that is your personal information. So after that, it is the body of the email, of the credit report, which is the collections, charge-offs, all your accounts. And then it is public record if there are any. And then after that, there's inquiries. And then pretty much that's it. So I am writing my letter from top to bottom as if I'm looking at a credit report or my credit report from top to bottom. So from the top, they always have my name wrong or somebody's name wrong, whoever I'm disputing, multiple times. And if they never put the same name multiple times, it's always multiple different, just different names, or your name spelled weird multiple times. So I always say you need to correct my personal information. And I am very strict on that. I'm very firm. You keep reporting it wrong. So as you know, the bureaus have to be 100% accurate across the board with all three credit bureaus and then some and beyond. So if the name is wrong, then that's false information. That's not who you are. Correct it. So they have to get rid of any of that. So I'm telling you, remove all other names. This is not me. So if my name is Tamiya Robles and the bureaus are have me listed as Tamiya Robles, right? I'm not Tamiya Robles. I don't know who Robles is. So get that off. Boom. Address. You keep reporting inaccurate information. Address. Your address that is on your credit report is coming from one of those creditors, whether they're reporting positively or negatively. It's coming from one of them. If you don't live there anymore, let's say it's coming from a collection agency or an old Verizon account that's reporting negatively on your credit report. If you don't live there anymore, you can tell them, get all of these addresses off. I've never lived there. That's what I put. I never lived there. Please delete. This is inaccurate information. The bureaus just need one name, one date of birth, one address, one employer. That's it. Okay. So that part. And if you remove it, it disassociates you with the debt, whoever the debtor is reporting to the credit bureau. All right. So that's what makes the deletions come off a little easier as well. Now you put, this is the correct spelling of my name and this is my current address. So, I mean, you could just simply copy and paste right here and put that under here. Where am I at? Okay, right here. Boom. There you go. All right. The address that you have is incorrect. I've never lived here. Please delete this inaccurate information. All right. This is just extra. You can put that here. Whatever you see fit, you can take it out because you already put that up here. Whatever works. Now, I'm going into the furnishers. So I'm saying from the rip, the furnishers continue reporting false information. This is key. False, inaccurate information on my credit report. So they can't do that. That's against the rules. That's against FCRA, so on and so forth. And I'm saying your company. Who's your company? Well, your company is the credit bureau, who I'm talking to. All 63 credit bureaus are a company. Equifax is a company. Innovis is a company. LexisNexis is a company. And these companies are inaccurately reporting your information, and they need to take it off. All right? They need to work their magic, do what they need to do. But this is the complaint. This is the dispute letter. Read it. Do what you got to do. 30 days. I need this file updated. Okay, so your company continues to report the inaccurate information on my credit report that violates my rights under the FCRA. You want to make that abundantly clear. You're not here for play. You're violating my rights under the FCRA. Remove this shit. Okay. In addition, here are some of the laws that continue to be broken at my expense. Now, I actually just started writing my dispute letters like this. I have another dispute letter that has always been effective. It just doesn't have these sections in it. It has certain laws in it, and as opposed to the sections. I like the sections. Now, I can say this. The credit bureaus obviously know what the rules are. They obviously know what their obligations are. You do not have to put these sections in when you're talking to an entity that is already aware of all of the sections, just like the sections I just showed you, how there's a whole long list of them. They don't need you to remind them of sections. I put them in there because I need the bureaus to know that I know that they're supposed to be following these sections, these laws, these guidelines, and these ones in particular I am focused on. So I need to let them know that I'm not a dummy. I know what you are supposed to be doing. So this is why I write the letters that I write, and this is how I write them. You understand? So we're going to start off by talking about section 623, 15 U.S. Code 168S2. A person shall not furnish any information relating to a consumer to any I'm sorry, I can't read today. Sorry about that. A person shall not furnish any information relating to a consumer to any consumer reporting agency if the person knows or has reasonable cause to believe that the information is inaccurate. Okay. Again, back to those key words, inaccurate information. So they can't put this on there under this section. They can't put it on there. I'm bringing it to your attention. Here's my dispute. Here are the laws I just showed you. I need you to take this off. Now, under section 23A and section 23(9)(a)(2), it's called duties after notice of dispute from a consumer. If a consumer notifies a furnisher at an address specified by the furnisher for such notices that specific information is inaccurate and the information is in fact inaccurate, the furnisher must therefore report the correct information to the CRAs. Okay. Now, this section or these two sections are for those of you who addressed the original creditor or whoever's reporting the negative information, whoever the debtor is on your credit report. And if you send dispute letters out to them and before you contact the credit bureaus and you're not getting anywhere, these two particular sections are supposed to cover that. Okay. So basically, if you've notified them at their address, at their place of business, you are specifically writing to them, then they have to address it. They have 30 days, so on and so forth. But if the information is wrong, they got to remove it. They can't report or shouldn't be reporting the negative information to the credit bureaus, and they're doing it anyway. So you put that in there. Now, another good section to put is duty of furnishers. I'm sorry, section 623A5, duty of furnishers to provide date of delinquency on charge off, collections, or similar accounts. So the reason why I feel this is important, and we're going to go, well, you're going to understand when you look at a credit report and you're a factual disputer such as myself, you're going to nitpick at every single thing that is wrong on the credit report on how that data furnisher is reporting. So a lot of the times when they mark you as delinquent, there's one date of delinquency, but there's another date of when they report the delinquency. That needs to be addressed. And this particular section 623A5, they're the ones that address this particular situation. Okay. So it's their duty to provide date of delinquency on a charge off or collection or similar accounts, not the date you decide to report it. That's very big. So those are just some 3 sections. If you don't want to use the section, don't worry about it. So I love this website, and we're going to go straight to this section. And I'm going to this section because this is a section that I used to create the letter that you just saw. All right. So in a nutshell, if you don't want to use the ones I used, look at these and choose from them if you want to be this detail specific, which I strongly recommend. So these are their duties. You have duty to promptly correct and update information. Okay. So under this section, it says also requires a person who regularly furnishes information, which is a company, to the credit bureaus to promptly notify if a person determines the previously furnished information is not complete or accurate. The person must provide corrected information. I'm not going to read all of this, but I will read the title. Duty to provide notice of a dispute. So all furnishers are supposed to put on a credit report. They're supposed to notify the credit bureaus. They put on the credit report that this account is under dispute. It's being disputed. So even if you dispute directly with the furnisher and not the bureaus per se, that furnisher has to inform the credit bureaus. All of them, all of whom they are reporting to, has to be notified. Okay. Maybe you want to put that in your dispute letter. Duty to provide notice of accounts closed voluntarily. So, for example, some of y'all, when we talk about trade lines and I'm talking with y'all, you guys want to shut cards down or shut accounts out or whatever. Maybe you paid off a car, paid your mortgage, what have you. This information needs to be notified. The furniture has to notify the credit bureau. Okay. Now, duty to provide dates of delinquency, that is important. These are particular sections. Duty to prevent repollution of consumer reports, and just read it like these probably apply to you and your situation. Now, if you scroll down and you want to look at all of these super specific um, clauses, then go ahead and do so. Take the time out if you want to create a very powerful dispute letter. By all means, definitely take the time out and read all of them. Now, I don't know all of these sections. It is a lot. I'm not built for that. I don't need to know all of them. But one of the things that you can do is, if it's a particular topic that you want to see if the credit bureaus, what section it is under the credit bureaus, you can, like I say so many times, you could just Google it. You can honestly just Google it. So let's say, for example, you want to know something about what does the FCRA say about repossessions or bankruptcies or whatever. Just look it up, or just say what section does the FCRA discuss such and such. It's, you should be able to look it up. If not, if it's not under the FCRA, then it's under maybe the FTC. You want to dig deep if you're trying to be that specific. I don't feel you need to be that detailed specific. Maybe if it's a difficult account that you're struggling to get off of your credit report, and like maybe you see everything else is being deleted, but that's different. Maybe go ahead, go ham. But you just want to be careful going into the sea of abyss, because it is a lot of information. And I think even these little three, I mean, I could have added more, I could have added less, maybe had one or two, but I think this is powerful enough, because your next move is you showing them exactly what the hell you're talking about. So the next section of the dispute letters is about the accounts. So in particular, this part right here in particular, let me highlight that. I am not liable for this debt with, and you want to put the original creditor's name. I do not have a contract with, that's the collection agency, whoever they are. They did not provide me with the original contract as requested. Only use this section if you are disputing a collection account, not a creditor, not the original creditor, not the charge off, a collection account. Okay. This is very powerful verbiage. And again, it's letting the bureaus know you are a force to be reckoned with. You know what you're talking about. And what you're saying is, listen, I don't owe them anything. I don't have an agreement with them. I don't even know these people, Robat. You understand? And I don't know who they are and what their connection is to this. I did not provide a contract. And when I asked for it, I didn't get it. Okay. Boom. That's perfect. Now, what you want to do is then you want to immediately after that put down the accounts that you are having a problem with and be specific, because again, they're going to act like they don't know what the hell you're talking about. So you got to let them know what the hell you're talking about. Okay. So for example, this is a collection account. So I put it how it's reported on the credit report. You don't have to do that. If you know the full name, you want to spell it out. If you know the full account number, you want to spell it out, by all means. However, I'm putting it exactly like how it's reporting on my credit report, because again, I'm not trying to give them too much. I'm giving you the same energy that you're giving me. So if this is the shit that you're putting on my credit report and this is how you're putting it on there, this is how I'm going to dispute it. So there's no confusion, because I'll be damned if you put FCO and then I put fair cash offer LLC, and you're like, well, who's that? We're wasting time. We're going back and forth. You know who you are. I know who you are. You know what I mean? So be careful of that. Do you, but you don't need to be extra with it when it comes to your dispute letters. Now, I like to break down every single stinking thing wrong with how they reported it. So this is just a dummy one. I put this is a closed collection account with no close date. That's a violation. This is a direct violation of my rights under the FCRA. We already talked about what sections and stuff like that. So the reason why I put the sections here and the reason why I start wording it from the rip, because I'm going to point out with every account, every single doggone thing that is wrong. All right. And you could do that. And now I'm showing you. So I'm warning you. I'm warning you real from the beginning. That's not my name. I never lived here. I don't know what you're talking about. I live here. I'm about to tell you now. Listen, I'm looking at my report. I'm saying all this crap. You're lying. And here are your rules and your sections and blah, blah, blah. Matter of fact, I'm going to do you a favor and tell you I don't know these people. I have no contract with them. Stop playing with me. And then look at what y'all are doing. Look at what you're doing. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Blah, blah, blah. There are two different open dates. One bureau has this, one bureau has that. That's a violation, blah, blah, blah. And on top of that, what I really do, you don't have to do this. I'm gonna tell you now, you do not have to do this at all. If you want to save time, then don't do it. But what I do is I show a snippet of the actual debt. And then I start copy and pasting what all the credit bureaus have, and I put arrows and lines and da 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 da, right? Because again, you are trying to get away from Oscar. You're trying to get an actual human being to look at your dispute letter and not just have it pushed through Oscar. And that's one way to do it. However, even if you didn't, there's so much going on here in this letter. That's why you got the bold type, and you don't have to have a perfect grammar. Just you got the lines and all that. It should be kicked out of Oscar either way. You understand? Now, you want to I personally do not put more than 3 accounts. Some people put all the accounts on the ad. Some people just put one at a time. The fewer accounts that you have reporting, the more effective you'll be. So you'll get more results, in my opinion, with 3 or less accounts that you're reporting. Inquiries, this is a section here. Now, what they say and what everybody says out in these YouTube streets that I've heard from the best of my ability, to my knowledge, is the fact that inquiries, I'll tell you the facts. Inquiries are supposed to be on your credit report only for 2 years. After 2 years, it's supposed to fall off, right? As we already know, not everything falls off because the bureaus are not sitting around just waiting for an opportunity to help you out. So, but for the most part, they do seem to drop off. Bankruptcies don't fall off. That's crazy, but the inquiries sometimes do, or they might go over a couple of months. That's the worst I've seen. But inquiries are the inquiries that can be on your credit report are connected to open accounts. So like if you apply for an Amex card and you got approved for an Amex card, you're going to get an inquiry, right? But there's this thing where people say, well, if you remove an inquiry to open debt, it closes out the account. I have been doing this for a long time. I haven't seen it, but one time. And that one time that happened, it was during the pandemic. And then it just stopped happening. Too many people were disputing and getting things off, and it's just not worth closing accounts. I don't know if you're experiencing that. Okay. If you really need these inquiries off and you don't have to wait the 2 years on these open accounts that you legitimately have, what I would do if the account actually does close because you remove the inquiry, just call the company and just say, hey, just don't get into detail. Just say, hey, there was some sort of mistake. I still have active account. I still use your services, blah, blah. Could you please, reopen the account and continue to report my credit report? We had a good relationship, yada, yada, so on and so forth. Therefore, R2. You understand? That's if that were to happen. I remove inquiries all the time. I have a free 24-hour inquiry removal ebook if you want to. I think it's free. Anyway, the ebook is on my website. You can get it, and then you get inquiries off within 24, even on open accounts. So whatever. But anyway, you can also say in this section, you don't have to say do what works best for you. The companies listed below checked my credit report without my authorization. So you cannot have an inquiry on your credit report unless, or shouldn't have one unless you authorized it. This is very concerning. It is a violation of my privacy and rights under the FCRA due to violation of CRA. Please delete. I just put that there. You know what I'm saying? Some I approved, some I didn't. But I know, for example, sometimes companies run your social through other companies, therefore creating a whole bunch of different inquiries. And inquiries are worth 2 to 3 points. So if it's either 2 to 3 point increase or 2 to 3 point decrease, right? So you want to focus on that. And here you could list each inquiry, each company that inquired on your credit report, or you could just copy and paste the list, put it on there, and let things be as they may. It's up to you. I'm all about visuals. So on my dispute letters, every section has a snippet with a picture and lines and all that. And then finally, well, is this finally? Yeah, finally, public records. So public records are typically the bankruptcy, right? Anything else deemed a public record in this category on your credit report, again, go to Smart Credit now. Smart Credit, and send the link is in the description. You can get your credit report for $1 for 7 days. After 7 days, it's going to be regular price. So cancel if you're trying to be cheap. If not, keep it on there while you're working on your credit. Okay. If you go to the public records section, it will show you your bankruptcy and all that. Handle it the same way. It's the same way. You want to point out everything that's negative, put a picture up, put it under here. Okay. I don't have any special words because I said what I said right here. I said what I said. You know what I said. You heard me. Take it off. All right. Now, I just like to throw mud in their face a little bit. If you're getting this information directly from the creditor, how are you reporting false information, right? Like, and then here again, just again, putting a little mud in their face. You don't have to do this. This is something I did back in the pandemic days. Somebody told me to do this and how it worked for them. That's when I used to get sucked up in the other people's bullshit, and I realized, like, you know what, this no. But this is a real lawsuit. If you want to check it out, it was called Englehart versus Gravens. And I brought that up to them, and um basically the case was where the individual, the consumer, had this on their credit report, and the I think the debtor, this is so old, I'm sorry, so if I'm not 100% accurate, just correct me in the comments, but where the debtor didn't have proof of the debt, and Gravens, I do believe, fought them, or whoever the consumer is fought them about it. So I put that in there, like, hey, don't forget, I'm aware of this. Like, show me proof, whatever, right? You don't have to put in there. It's just extra. I like to be extra. I like to say all throughout my dispute letters, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is inaccurate, boom, boom, boom. Just so you know that I know that you know that I know. Okay. And then finally, you want to put your name on there, and you always want to have two forms of ID. So you have to have a government issued ID. Yes, it can be expired. I've used expired ones all the time. There was never a problem, ever, 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 never. And if anybody wants to tussle in the comments, by all means, do so by yourself. And then you want a picture of a bill or something with the address that matches the address that you have all the way at the top. So if you have a bill that says 123 Main Street, Lake, Delaware, then that's what you use. All right. And then I like to put a little zhuzh on it at the end. You don't have to. CC, FTC, BBB, CFPB, just so they know that I know that they know. You know what I'm saying? No, just so they know that you're with the shits, and you're not just sending this to them, you're sending it to everybody in these streets. Okay. So hopefully this was pretty effective. Hopefully you guys learn from this. And if you still don't want to create your own dispute letters, you don't have to. I'm going to tell you now, it is work. It's not simple if you wanted to do it the right way. So when I get on a lot of my social media platforms and I see other people talk about, oh, you can buy my letters, whatever. And then people are always like, oh, you can get it for free and da da da. You can get anything for free. People, cut it out. Stop looking for a way out. There's free, and then you get what you pay for. So, pick a struggle. But if you want quality and you want to do things right, definitely create it on your own, or you can go to fixmycreditnow.com. You can purchase a whole bunch of letters that I still use, that are very effective. All right. But in the meantime, I'll wrap this up. You guys are amazing. I love talking to y'all. Yeah, check me out on Facebook. I have multiple Facebook groups. My main one is Credit and First Time Homebuyers Plug. You can check me out on YouTube, Fix My Credit Now 850. I'm everywhere on these streets. Check out the description. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Continue to set up consultations with me when you're ready for credit repair. Please don't just set up a consultation just to chit chat and to tell me what you think it should be done. I don't have time for that. I'm here to help y'all as much as I can, as quickly as possible, because again, keep in mind, credit repair is going to be obsolete soon. Again, fight me in the comments if you want to. But in the meanwhile, I wish you guys the best of luck on your credit journey, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.